Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Said I might be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get to glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah, shooting, yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, people? Welcome to Tottenham Away, the Monday night show, the best place to be in town if you're a Spurs fan, and you know it makes sense. Welcome, everyone. If you're a Spurs fan, hello again. If you're not a Spurs fan, you're welcome here as well. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. JP, it's Monday. It feels weird. It feels like
It's no football, eh?
Yeah, but it's almost like we're not supposed to be doing a show.
Yeah, but there's always stuff to talk to, isn't there? Something here and there. I'm sure we'll
Something
get
to moan
into.
about, something to complain about.
Well, I thought, do you know what? As the season finished, right, let's just have a little bit of a wind down time, and then we go and sign someone which screws all that up.
Listen, he's going to come good. Have faith. Maz, your prediction came true. We've signed Timo. Other than that, we will get into Timo because this week's show is called Timo Time. How have you been?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. I'm really looking forward to next season and us challenging for the title with Timo leading the front line.
How was your holiday? I know you went on holiday. How was your holiday?
Yeah, no, it's good, mate. It's good. I had a really good time. went back to our ancestral homeland and ate loads of food, drank loads of alcohol.
Nice.
It was good to see Athens buzzing as well, which was good. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big up to Maz and his holiday in Athens, celebrating with the Olympiacos fans. What was it like watching fans enjoy lifting silverware?
Real fans, real fans
Celebrating.
tasted victory.
Celebrating a win.
No, you know what? It was good. It was, everyone was happy and we're beyond happy. And what was interesting was earlier in the day when I was talking to a few people, and I mentioned, they obviously said, "Oh, who do you support?" I said Spurs, and they didn't know much about Spurs, but they knew the chairman. So, and I'm not lying. I'm not lying. They knew the chairman, and they said, "Oh, your chairman, he doesn't want to spend money." And I'm like, "How the hell do you know? They don't even really follow, Spurs really." And so that was quite funny.
1 minute. Hold on. Olympiacos. They don't know much about Spurs, but they've heard of Daniel Levy. How?
No, the fans, man, not the club. Obviously, the people.
Yeah, I know the fans. The fans haven't really.
Yeah. The ones I spoke to, a couple of them, right? They knew the chairman. They heard about the chairman. That is really difficult to deal with. I don't know where they read that from, but yeah. I texted you at the time. I said it really funny.
I'm sure we've probably tried to get someone for about £5 off them and haggled for.
I think that they get a lot of Spanish news that they get, so that's why.
Do you know what?
They're hearing things from the Spanish media.
Spurs have become like Donald Trump.
It's like a banter. Honestly, it's like the banter club of Europe.
Like Trump is bigger than his political party. He's more important than the country. Levy's become bigger than Spurs. He's actually more important than football now, isn't he?
We played them in the Champions League.
Olympiacos, did we? Yeah, we did. Yeah,
It was ages ago. Yeah, bloody hell.
19.
Pedent scored against us. I remember.
Yeah, that's probably how they know him from 5 years ago.
Iggy, how you doing, man?
All right, man. We charged them about £80 for a ticket, Maz.
That's
probably why. Yeah.
Now I get it. Now that's how they know Levy. Who's in charge? Who's in charge?
Well, what is this?
Olympiacos, €10. €10. Oh man, yeah, Iggy, you cool? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm trying to work out what you guys are talking about. Olympiacos, Daniel Levy. I'm trying to piece it together.
Donald Trump, Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
All the good
You
things.
can see there's not much football happening, is there? Although England are on tonight, so I don't even know how.
No, you were right. You were right the first time, Iggy. There's not much football going on.
Not much football. England are on. I got it.
It's
coming home.
Here we go again.
It all starts.
We've got 315 people watching on all platforms. Big up, respect, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Everyone in the chat, in the comments, big up to each and every single one of you. Look, we haven't here had the conversation yet, so we need to have it, right? And that is the breaking news that we've got our Tottenham back. Timo has signed. He's here. And I think what surprised me the most was how divisive this one has been. It's really been divisive. Listen, it's caused a lot of beef online. It's caused a lot of, even people like Expressions have been getting pelters because he came out and said, I don't want Timo. And you're thinking, hold on a minute. He's an entertainer and he's getting pelters. And then the one that really caught my attention out of everything was this one, guys. I don't know if you saw it, but when the news broke, Danny Murphy was saying he's just perplexed by it all. But Simon Jordan, who's normally the mouthpiece for Daniel Levy, Levy's best mate and all that, even he said that I don't understand this. I don't know what they've said. Both of them agreed on it. So it's almost like you got the media looking at it from a really odd perspective. You've got our fans 50-50 split. You've got fans just having to go at each other, just get behind the club, back it, and others are like, no, I'm allowed my opinion. I'm not doing this anymore. This one, I tell you, and then obviously I went on We Are Tottenham TV and said, I'm done. Andrew's a yes man. You can sign whatever you want from here on in. And that's kind of where I'm at now. But what I don't know exactly where you guys are at on this. Iggy, I mean, you could give me your positives, your negatives, but at the end of it, where are you at with this? Because I know you did a video as well. You put a video out, got about 2,000-3,000 hits already. So,
listen, the thing that the Timo thing, you can look at it so many different ways. Look, first of all, I'm not entirely happy with the signing anyway. Let me just so there's clarity in where my thinking is. I wasn't happy for the fact that we signed the player that both Chelsea got rid of, Leipzig are clearly trying to get rid of, and he's been consistent in that aspect. He hasn't shown us any different to what he did at Leipzig and Chelsea beforehand. So I didn't see it as and I still don't see it. Upon reflection, I still don't see him as a good signing for that fact. People say, yeah, but he was a low cost. Well, it costs 15 million. When you think of his wages, the third highest earner at the club, 170 grand. So people want to tell me that he's been brought in to beefing up the squad or be part of the bench or the squad rotation. If we're giving him the money to be the third highest earner, you better believe Daniel Levy's going to want him to be playing every week or as regularly as possible. So I don't buy that he's been brought in to strengthen the squad. He's been there to strengthen the 11. So and the money that he's on suggests that for me. The thing from if we had brought in three really top quality or quality signings in the stem of Van der Ven, Vicario, though that level of signings, and he had been brought in after that, you might have absorbed it. I'm not saying you would have been happy with it, or I would have been happy with it. You may have absorbed it a little bit more better. But when we've been talking about going again next season to go better than what we did this season, with Andrew's comments about going winning the league or at least challenging or at least getting closer to the the teams ahead of us, and you then announce Timo Werner as your first signing, something's not tallying up there. It's not something is not telling it right. It's the constant inconsistencies that we have within our club, where the manager says one thing, the club acts differently to what the manager's saying, because essentially these are the contrasts. When you say it's 50-50 with the fan base, I don't know. I struggle to understand how we can be divisive in this. I don't get it. Now, if people are saying we shouldn't attack him because it's not his fault, it's not the player's fault, I'd agree with that. It's not the player's fault. If someone comes and give a club or a company is willing to give us top dollar to sign for us, we'd all do it. So I don't agree with the personal attacks
Iggy,
on
is
Timo Werner.
anyone bashing Timo though? I thought everyone was bashing Levy and Ange on this.
I don't know, man, because some listen. It's the same. I mean, this is social media reaction, isn't it? It's what caused Porro to shut off his social medias, and one or two other players who have been in similar sort of scenarios. It's not their fault. They've been offered a deal and they've taken it. And at the end of the day, 170 grand for Timo Werner is a good deal for him. So I don't have anything against the player. Yeah, for him, it's a good deal. For him, it's a good deal. He's done his job. His agent
For all of
has
us.
done a really good job. So I never ever have anything personal towards the player himself. My thing is, how can this be the first signing that we make when we're talking about? And I don't believe it, by the way, challenging for the league and all that stuff.
I think there was a deadline that we had to meet with this one, wasn't there, or something?
I just and also
14th of June.
I don't know where I heard it. Someone said that the injury that he has is quite not severe, but it's not as light as we first thought. He's going to be out for like 3 months, so that could take him right up against the beginning of the season. So, if you think like June, July, August, the season will be starting, and he'd just be coming back from injury. So I don't know, guys. I'm underwhelmed. I said in the video that you're talking about that I did. I said I was underwhelmed, and I tried to keep it clean. Tried to not to sweat, but I was not happy in the least. It wasn't the kind of signing we needed. We need 3-4 top signings to really help the team, and that area of the pitch was one of the areas that I was looking for, as well as having Son in there, and there may be a number 9 that we've been talking about for ages. So I'm not here or there on it. And in regards to challenging for next season, we're not going to close the gap with the teams that are ahead of us. I don't see that gap closing if these are the signings that we're going to be making. And no, so I'm not happy with it at all.
JP,
Well,
more the same.
I actually think it's quite a good signing because do you know what?
Are you
It's
trolling us or
no-brainer.
you mean this?
I don't understand it one little bit. I tell you, man, it just absolutely does my pure head in. I can't see it. All right, my view. I don't care what everyone else's view is outside here. I think I'm probably in the same boat as you guys, but irrespective of everything else, my view is that and just blatantly come out and said, we know we need to strengthen, and the top 3 is an area that we need to strengthen in. Right? We have Timo Werner. He gave us whatever it was, 4 assists or something. And like, was it 2 goals? I think his shots per game or something like that was like something stupid like 0.2.
He had the worst shot conversion rate. He had the worst shooting accuracy, and he had the lowest goals scored per 90 minutes.
He's our left-sided striker. Let's say finisher, scorer, whatever you want to call it. We've had this person as a trial. Last season, I heard it was a no-brainer. He's on loan. We can give him back. If it doesn't work out, doesn't matter. The games that he played in and the misses that he did make, I don't care what you say, to me, impacted those games. We could have gone 1-0 up. We could have gone 2-0 up. In the end, we struggled and maybe even got over the line in those games and scored a last-minute goal or whatever it was. But that's where it did cost us in those games. So even with hindsight of seeing that, we've still gone and got him. And just said he needs someone better up front. We've still gone and got him. There's a deadline. Who else is going to be wanting him? Leipzig are doing their damnedest to get rid of him. And we bring him in on the 3rd highest wage in our club. I absolutely just don't get it, right? Because the next thing now is, to me, that sets a precedent. I hear people saying, oh, do you know what? It's all right. He's going to be backup. So now if we go and buy someone else who's better than him to play in that position, we've got to pay him more wages than Timo. That's the precedent that's been set, right? Now you go and get someone better, they're going to be above him in wages. Poor old Van der Ven. He scored more goals than Timo.
He'll be knocking at the door. As will the rest of them. Yeah.
And Romero, Vaccaro, Udogie, Porro, Bentancur, they're all earning less.
That doesn't make sense. It absolutely doesn't make sense. I don't understand the signing at all in any way whatsoever. I can't get my head around it. And for some people who are quite happy with it, again, I don't understand their point of view or their perspective. Having him on the bench, fine, but why? When you bring him off the bench, you want him to do something. If you bring him off the bench in 15, 20 minutes to go and you're that defender, you think you're scared. Oh, Timo Werner's coming on now. Oh, God.
JP, improving the bench is great when you have a real top 11.
But that doesn't improve the bench.
We can't even say that we've got a really good 11. We've got maybe good 7, 8.
And you can argue, oh, he's better than Brian Hill. Well, he's crap. And at the end of the day, don't play and should go. Oh, he's better than Lo Celso. He literally gets 2 minutes. Why don't we get better players? that 165 grand a week that we're spending on his wages, that money can go towards a decent person on that position. And again, I don't know where all the scouting's gone, what they've been doing, database analysis, kind of like all that crap. You're telling me you can't go all across Europe and find a left-sided goal scorer? So, you end up with Timo Werner. I don't understand it, and I don't like the signing. Nothing to do with him. I don't see it as a positive start to our campaign.
JP, imagine the Real Madrid fan right now. Not that I'm comparing us to Real Madrid, but imagine the Real Madrid fan who's still drunk from winning that Champions League, right? He's just coming back from a hangover. He's nursing it. He's thinking, I can't believe my luck. Wakes up this morning and finds that Mbappe signs. You're like, mate, open another bottle and carry on drinking. That's
This is the opposite.
But this is the
opposite, and that's me.
Guys, please, I want to, not you guys in the panel, but everyone, please hear me out when I say this. I know we're not Real Madrid. I'm just saying the levels that we're talking about is these guys have just won their 15th Champions League, and they're not looking. They're not sitting back having a cigar, smoking, enjoying the I don't know. They won the league. They won the Champions League. They're not sitting on their laurels. They're bang. 3 days later, they announce Mbappe. I mean, it's like even the player that plays in Mbappe's position can't sit down today and think, enjoy that Champions League win. He's got to think, shit, man, we just got Mbappe. I've got competition here after winning the Champions League. That's ambition, guys. This is what we're talking about. Like I said, I'm not comparing us to Real Madrid, but I'm saying if you want to keep that flame, that fire burning, that's how you got to do it. You got to announce big player, bang, 2 days after achieving something big. We need to do something big. We need to put things in place. And then we announce Timo Werner after the season we've just had.
It just makes it flat.
That's the contrast.
Maz, I want to get your thoughts on this, right? But before you do, I want to tell you something. Today I got a phone call from a friend of the channel. He watches all the channels in I know him through football. He's called me up. He's like, Stel, I really wanted to put a comment in the other night on your channel, but mate, I couldn't. I literally just sat in my office screwing for 3 hours over the Timo signing, right? And he goes to me, his words, right? He's never ever said this to me before. He goes, do you know what? We're not a big club, are we? Maz, over to you.
I'm surprised that you guys, I found it like shocking, to be honest, or confused by it, because I think the writing was on the wall. Yeah, I think the writing was on the wall as soon as we signed him, and I tried to put on a brave face just to go against Stel when he first came in. But it's.
What do you mean? I never wanted him. I never wanted him, Maz.
Well, what I mean is, I was trying to show you the bright side of getting Timo when we first signed him. Well, you knew my thoughts. Anyway, we're not going to cover it all again, but it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. It's the same. It's the same issues rearing their ugly head again. Signing Timo Werner, what it done for me was just confirm that Ange is an absolute yes man. I'm Ange out now. I don't want him at the club. But then I don't think any manager coming in will make any difference. So me saying I don't want him at the club makes no difference to Tottenham. There's very few managers, if any managers, that can come in and change the way that Tottenham operate and the types of players that are coming through the door. For me, it's done now. We've gone through all the managers. We've done the Poches, the Joses, the Redknaps, the Contes, the Anges, the Joels. We've done AVBs. We've done, there's 17 different managers. We've done every single type of manager, right? So there's no other combination now that we can go for. There's no resume that was going to come in, apart from maybe Pep Guardiola or Ancelotti. And even if they came in, they could never change Spurs because of that one man at the top. and it was really predictable. And I'm sad that it was so predictable. I'm sad to be proven right. I'm sad to say I told you so. And I can see some of the guys in the comments, a lot of majority of the comments saying, "Oh, we need to bring in Eze now." Everyone is falling for the same old rubbish all over again. Getting Eze will not change the fortunes of Tottenham Hotspur. The same cycle will repeat. We're going to go through a period in the season where we're going to play really well. Everything's going to look good, maybe, right? The form is going to dip. We're going to get a few injuries, right? We might progress a little bit in the cups, and we're going to get a shock defeat to a club we've never heard of, right? Another Ferrero Rocher or whatever they're called, or Dynamo Zagreb, right? And we're going to be like, oh no, it's happened again, right? And we might qualify for the Champions League. We probably won't. We'll probably finish 6th again or 5th again. But it's the same thing happening again, guys. And I'm absolutely done. If I'm honest with you, I'm really done. I'm not looking forward to next season. The only bit of news that vaguely interests me was that investment company looking to invest in Spurs. Maybe they'll gain some influence by doing so. Maybe they'll implement, I don't know, different marketing strategy or different way of operating the club, or put some kind of pressure on Levy or different type of pressure. Maybe it won't make any difference. Maybe it'll just culminate in the same old things. The biggest problem we got now is we have a manager who is a yes man. He's accepting mediocre players, and I would argue maybe even worse players than we've ever been looking at before. That's my sense of the news cycles going around. I have absolutely zero optimism for next season, and I could just see the same pattern repeating. And the funny thing is you got Jose doing the rounds at the moment, and he's mocking us. You can tell by his language that he's absolutely mocking us, basically saying that we're aiming for 4th, we might get 5th, we might get 6th, we might try and do something in the Europa League, but that's our ambition. That's all we want to be. And if that's
he literally called it out, didn't he?
Yeah, if that's the Tottenham that everyone wants, then sorry, but that's not the Tottenham that I want.
Do you know what? My thought is, I hear what you're saying, Maz, but I feel like the only thing I blame Ange is for speaking as much as he has in certain scenarios, winning a league. That stuff there can all be avoidable, especially knowing that it ain't going to happen under his ownership. That's what I blame Ange for. But as far as saying Ange out because he's just another yes man, we weren't going to get another Conte in I'm talking about Conte mode where he would just say what he is, he'd blow things up and walk off and tell us exactly how things were. Levy was not going to employ another manager like that. That would bring more heat against him. He needed to make sure that the next manager after Conte would be one that
On his side,
will probably toe the line a little
toe
bit
the
more.
line.
So I don't blame Ange for being that mode, because at the end of the day, that's the guy's employed, he's getting paid, he's got to do the job the best way he can.
I agree, Iggy,
he's at fault for speaking as much as he has.
Yeah,
that part
I
do
agree,
with.
Iggy, but here's the man's mistake, and it's you're right. If he didn't speak as much and he just he managed the fans and expectations a little bit better, we probably all wouldn't be feeling this way. We'll probably be looking back thinking, 5th, you know what? It's about where we should be, maybe.
Year one,
right? Yeah. If he managed what he said. The problem is he did speak too much. I'm not going to cover all of that again because we've done that before.
We know what he said.
But
we know.
what I expect of a manager that was touted as being very headstrong, knows what he wants, no bullshit type guy, is that he would come in and have standards. Now, if Timo Werner is his standard for winning, which is what he is told the media, right? He's a winner. Everywhere he's gone, he's a winner. I've done this, I've done that, right? If that is his standard, then no, sorry, I don't want you at the club. Because if Timo's your standard, and that's his first signing for this mass rebuild of this second season, this second, let's call it the second campaign, right? Post the fact that he says, "Oh, mate, I need to reassess and rip everything up and start again," right? That's his signing. No, mate, sorry. We've got to stop allowing this psyop to do us over every season, right? We need to see what our senses are telling us and what our eyes are telling us, right? And what's happening in front of us, right? Because normally when people have got an agenda, they normally tell you what they're going to do, right? And they've told us what they're going to do. They're not going to buy quality players. They're going to seek quantity over quality, right? And what they'll probably do in typical Levy style, he'll get one marquee signing that will gloss over all of the crap around that will happen, right? So Eze might come in, but that's it. That's our lot done. I'll be very surprised if we sign 3 or 4 quality players that people are really hoping for. Even if we sign 2 quality players, let's pretend we sign 2 quality players. The problem is we've got Richarlison still at the club. Big problem that we need to fix. We've got Son, right? He's getting older. He is on his decline. I'm convinced now that he's on the decline, right? Or he's been there too long. So I'm pretty sure that his heart is not in it as it once was. And that could be the reason why his form's on the decline. You've got Brendan Johnson, who's not very good. You've now got Timo Werner, who's definitely going to start because he's the 3rd highest wage player in the squad, right? You've got Skip on his way out that needs replacing as a squad player. I don't like the term backup as well. I agree with everyone on this, right? Højbjerg's leaving, right? Basuma's, for me, we need to get rid of him. He's had 2 years. He's not working out. We need to move him on. We need to be ruthless, but that's not going to happen. We'll hold on to him. No doubt about that. We'll hold on to him. You got you got and Dembele coming back, right? Still on the wage bill. We can't get rid of him. I don't know why they just don't cancel the contract and just get that bit of news out of the club, that bad vibe out of the club. That's what they should do. If I was their head of marketing, that's what I'll tell Daniel Levy, right? There's still so many problems in our team.
Maz,
right?
I want to bring in Lee. Lee, Maz makes a really good point there, right? He said that when Andrew got angry after the Man City game, he said something along the lines of problems inside, outside, everywhere. And then he said, I have to go back to the drawing board with certain things. And then he agrees to the signing of Timo Werner. Like, is it that? Again, going by the things that Ange says and then what we see happen, isn't this a big problem? And there's a reason why so many fans are pretty, cheesed off with this signing.
Well, I mean, Maz is just overly negative anyway, so let's just take that into consideration. No, you're right. You can't. I think that was a bit of a wake up call, and we don't really know, what he was necessarily talking about. But the fact that he said, I've got to go back to the drawing board, is worrying. The whole Timo thing, it's just weird for me, because forget about him, forget about the fact that he's crap, he's going to be out for 3 months, etc., etc. I think JP got it spot on in the sense that the precedent's set here. I mean, basically, any player that we're looking at, and let's give everyone a hypothetical scenario here, and it's not too far fetched. Say if we do sign Eze, right? And say we do sign Jimenez, who apparently today in Mexico there's a report saying that if Tottenham come calling, I'll say yes. You've now got a forward, and you've now got Eze, who predominantly plays on the left. You're moving Son out of his position up front because you've got a striker, which means then Son and Eze are battling for that left wing position, or maybe you push Son over to the right. But if that happens, then Timo's, I'm not going to use the word backup. I can't stand the word backup. It winds me right up. But then Timo's just a bench warmer now. But he's a bench warmer on 165k a week. I mean, if I'm Eze right now, sitting on the bench at England, I'm rubbing my hands together and think, right, if this is going to happen at Spurs, I'm sorry, I'm not coming there and potentially being told I'm a first team player and not asked for anything less than what he's on, because he's only on 47 grand a week at the moment, apparently at Palace, and even he can't stand there in front of people and not say, "Come on, guys, I'm younger than him. I'm quite obviously better than him. I'm sorry, I'm now in the England squad. You've got to start going deep in your pockets, because if you want me, you pay the money." I mean, that's the issue for me. It's not about him or anything like that. It's the fact that now anyone coming to that club is going to be thinking, well, hold on a minute. Listen, I get the fact that there's no sign-on fee and it's just a loan, and it's probably a bit skewed. The fact it's 165, you're not paying any money for him, etc., etc., and that will probably be the rebuttal to it. That will go back and say, well, we've got to pay 60 million for you plus this, that, and the other. But it's got to be certainly an issue now that people are going to want to try and get as much out of us as possible. And that's the thing that I hope it doesn't fall over, because I don't think 60 million or 55 or 60 million for Eze is a bad investment. I've watched him do more in that first half in the England match than I've watched Timo do over 8 or 9 games, if I'm absolutely honest. And
I've seen the mannequin do more than he does.
Yeah, well, no, exactly. And fair enough, JP. And that's the issue. And listen, I'm not. I know Maz is saying this is all happening before and stuff like that, and we'll have a good laugh about it. At the end of the day, the window doesn't open for another 11 days, right?
Yeah, but
we're
Lee,
not even in. Hold on, no. Still, hold on. We're in. I know what you're going to say. You say it every time, etc. Some of us are a little bit more optimistic than others.
No, you don't know what I'm going to say. I was going to say, when we were having this chat 3-4 months ago, we're not signing Timo. No way Ange is going to sign Timo. He's only here as a stopgap. Now we've signed him. It's forget everything we said in the past that we're not going to sign him. Ange isn't that kind of guy. Forget
Who said we're not going to sign Timo? Pretty much everyone here was like, that's going to happen. Guaranteed that's going to happen. We don't want it to happen, but it's going to happen. You did, and everyone else did.
No. People said guarantee it's going to happen, but we were saying, but no way would Ange want a player like that if he's serious. That was the conversation.
Well, but Ange is not director of football. Ange is not the guy scouting the players. He just says
he's the manager accepting it though.
Absolutely.
But missed my point.
There's a difference. There's a difference between Ange saying he's my number one target. Do whatever you can to get him through the door, and the club saying to Ange, hey, we can have him for another year. It's only going to cost us X amount in wages. We're not saying that he's going to. I know. But my point I'm trying to get at is there's a difference between Ange saying he's my target, we've got to have him, blah blah blah, and there's a difference between that and the club saying, look, we've got an opportunity here to, Solomon's going to be out for X amount of XYZ. We're going to move this player on or something like that. We need someone in that position, not to challenge for the first team, but to be there in case we have injuries again. That's probably a cheaper option. If he sat down and said, well, actually, okay, all right, in that instance, he's already embedded in the team. He's not necessarily what we want, but if it is what it is.
You missed my point. My point
that's not a yes man. That's not a yes man. That's someone looking at something.
100% a yes man.
Lee, hold on, right?
I'm sorry.
Hold on. I had the same debate with Matt on Friday, and Matt agrees with you, Lee. My point was that, yes, some of us said, you wait and see, we'll sign Timo Werner. Yes, people did say that. But it's what we also said was, if Ange has properly assessed this squad, no way does he want Timo. So the fact we've signed him, he must want him then. Or he's a yes man. That's the point I'm trying to make. Which one is it? Right, is he a yes man, or does he actually want Ange? Because if you want Ange,
there'll be players that he wants.
Ange wants Timo,
his targets, and then there'll be players that the club will say that no manager gets overall say over the transfers. It's as simple as that. That's where he makes mistakes by saying,
he's a yes man, isn't
I'm doing this and not doing that.
But then he's a yes man.
No, because the club can decide to. The club No club gives the outright, maybe Man City, maybe Pep or someone like that says you're the only one that's actually gets to choose the players. It's simply not the case.
But we make it. But we get it much more wrong than every other club because.
I don't disagree with you.
Right.
Baz. I don't disagree with you. You've got it wrong so much. But I think it's really harsh right now to go in on Ange before the transfer window's even started, before we even know the actual story behind it. If it comes out in 2 weeks' time and he was like, yeah, that was my number one target, I wanted him, etc., I'm all over it with you guys.
But the
we
fact
just
is
don't know.
In the season when we were going through all of the players, right? In the season when we were going through all of the players and their performances and who we brought in and everything, we all agreed, right, that aside from Vicario and Van der Ven, right, and let's not include Idoji and Porro because that weren't his signings, right? They were signed in before, right? Everyone has effectively flopped, right? So he built this squad as it is. So what you've done, Lee, is you've come in and you said, well, because of the mistakes he made with Solomon, right, and BJ and right, and
what mistakes?
Madison,
I haven't said anything about that.
Well, Solomon is a mistake because he's not played, right, and he's injured all the time, right? Brendan Johnson, we know he's not very good. He misses goals from 2 yards out.
He just needs another 40 minutes in the oven.
Right.
Oven ready.
Right. So because of all of the bad choices he's made throughout the season, right? Now that the club are saying to him, oh, well, we can get Timo on this and that. And bear in mind, Timo's also injured. And I think Koff on Tottenham on tour said it's a stage 3 hamstring injury, which is the worst.
So he's going to be out for ages, 3 months at
right?
least.
And it will never be the same after that. I agree with what Koff said. So big up Koff, right? He's not only has he made the mistake initially and in his assessment that he needs to rip off, he's repeated the mistake again by signing him, right? Signing an injured player as well, right? And causing problems now in the squad if Aneze comes in with Son.
That's why I can't say that this is anything to do with Ange. This is purely the club.
Yeah. So he's complicit in it then.
There are some things that a coach and a manager will have to accept. It's as simple as that.
No,
you don't get everything
Lee,
your own way.
let me ask you a question.
Maz,
let me ask everyone a question because it's clear to me that we've got an issue with clarity of definition. So, what is a yes man then? How do you define a yes man, Lee? In your
a yes man is a coach that basically gets no say in the transfers. The club gives him whatever they deem a good signing is, or whatever they want to spend the money, cheap signing, etc. If a coach comes in and says, right, this is the type of player I'm looking for, and here's a list of 5 people, and they go, no, we're not giving you any of that. What we're going to do, we're going to sign this 17-year-old or 18-year-old or 22-year-old from Division 1. That's and then he accepts that. That's a yes man.
Podge came out and said it in a press conference.
So how many club signings must a club sign as a percentage of the total number of transfers for it to be a yes man? Is it 1 out of 5? I think the odd 1 or 2. 2 out of 5?
The odd 1 or 2. What I would say is acceptable. But if he comes in and says,
all right,
at the end of the day,
Solomon, Werner, that's 3.
How can we possibly say there were anything that Ange wanted when that he was in transition from another club and we were in transition for manager?
But you said to me 1 or 2.
He said
3.
No, this season. Forget first season still. He's just come into a job. He's got to know to get the club. We all said this. His first season was a write-off.
His first season, right? Then. His first one.
Yeah, and that.
I'm trying to find.
No, I'm not finding logic, mate. What I need you to do is find me the video that says Ange says I want this player at no of course, because otherwise you're just making words up. That's the problem. Okay, a club can sign whoever they like. It's nothing to do with the manager. It's the manager. He wants to be in the club.
He's come out and said that that Timo's done really well and he's contributed a lot this season.
Then he's just a fucking idiot, then, isn't he?
Well, there we go.
And he's an idiot.
I
He
think
said
we
that,
said.
though,
I
Lee.
think at the
I mean,
time,
I'm
I'm
not sure
going to
that
go
he
on
did.
on the internet and fight and dig it out for you. But trust me when I
I
say,
think. I think
in one of
Naz,
his interviews, he
at,
said,
at the time we did agree on that he came out and said that, but that was obviously to G him up for the rest of the season, right?
"Oh, come on!" Like we're just ending up finding excuses now for poor decisions that the club and the manager makes. Like
Club,
it's
yeah.
24 years of it, guys. At what point do we just have to see what's in front of us and call it out for what it is?
Do you know what the problem is?
Listen,
have to make
I'll tell you what
alibis
I'll
for
tell
the
you what the
managers
problem
now.
is. I'm getting. See, now we're in depressing stage of the season and the summer. I simply, I'm not that type of person, Maz. I simply can't be negative 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have to have a glimmer of hope or something.
Do it when we sign Eze then. When we sign Eze, we'll
No,
all be
but
positive.
I'm not being negative.
Eze-
I'm being there's a difference
No,
between
no.
negative and being realistic and calling out
Realist-
what's happening.
No. Well, if I had an 8 ball and I asked it a question, it gave me the right answer every time, then I'd understand where you're coming from. But the window has not opened yet, right?
Yeah, but
Lee,
I'm
do you
not,
know-
my okay. Now hold on.
You're
Let me
saying
answer it.
every. I know. I get you. I'm getting you say that you say 23 years. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And I'm 80-20, but we don't know yet because it hasn't opened yet. Now, I'm not
Lee,
saying we're not going to do fantastic. But
Guys,
if you tell me now that we're not going to sign any players in the summer, then I want to know what the lottery numbers are next week.
Right.
All right. After let Iggy come in because Iggy's sat
Yeah,
quiet.
I will.
I want to know what Iggy thinks on this.
I
as
will.
well.
Right.
All right.
Lee,
Cool.
I think where we're misaligned here, right?
It's a good chat. This is a good chat.
Is
It's a good chat.
where we're misaligned here, right? Is firstly, it's what I'm saying is not being negative. It's negative towards the club because of their track record and the way they behave. But I'm not being negative for negative sake. I'm just being realistic about what I see, right? That's my first point. The second point is my barometer as to what Spurs do is not based on this transfer window, because what I've seen in the transfer window before, right, the two, i.e. the January transfer window and the summer, right, has already shown me what's going to happen going forward. And even if they pull out
Right, so you've just said it there then. So exactly that. So if you can give me the lottery numbers next week, that'd be fantastic. Because how can you say? Yeah, but how can you say?
Well, let
23 years. No, you've just said it. 23 years. You've got the barometer. Now you can see what's going to happen.
Windows.
Iggy,
I just
Iggy
mentioned
needs to
two
land
windows,
as well at
right?
some point. Iggy needs to land as well at some point.
Yeah.
No, let him finish. Let him finish.
I'm saying, right, that
Iggy's
when
plane's
what
just
I
in the
see
loop in
is
the
even
sky
if we
waiting.
sign 2 or 3 quality players, that doesn't automatically make Ange successful, right?
I never said
Because
it did. I'm saying that.
You're saying,
no, I'm
you're
not
saying
saying. No. Don't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is if we sign 2 or 3 good players, especially one in Timo's, position, then I'm saying the outlook for the team to progress next season is better than what it was this season because we didn't really know. We're building. This isn't all going to happen in one season. It's going to take a couple of seasons. Now, if we sign bang average players, then I'm absolutely on the boat with you. I'm absolutely 100%.
So
but we don't know yet because we don't know who we're going to sign. I don't care about them ones. I don't care about them. That was last year.
Well, okay. Oh, so we're going to have blinkers in, and we're not going to.
No, we're not going to have blinkers. As I was trying to explain, you can't just pick and choose who you like. You can't say, "Oh, Valise to this, Valise." That's a club signing. It's not an Ange signing. Other players that are club signings. That's the mentality they've got to get out of, and that's what we're going to see. We're always going to get 1 or 2, but we're going to see if the mentality changes this summer. If we get more signings that he wants rather than what the club thinks is best for the club.
Lee,
that's what I'm getting
the
out
problem
of.
is the
Now,
ratio.
you can see
out
that.
Of the 9 signings,
I get it.
Out of the 9 signings, right? Only 2 have been really good. That's the problem.
Yeah, and Johnson was not an Ange signing either.
Oh well, but then I can levy the same thing you're saying to us. Is how do you know? I mean, we know
because Paratici came out and said we've been chasing him for 2 years.
Yeah. And everyone that came into the club, Ange said yes to, because he said that in his interview.
Well, no manager is going to sit at the table. You guys have got to understand this. No manager is going to sit at a table and go, never wanted him, didn't want him, nothing to do with me. Because that's him out the door the next day. See you later.
It's only Conte's really
It's
done
his own
that,
fault. Listen, he's dug his own grave now. I completely agree with you. The way that he speaks sometimes, he's dug his own grave. Absolutely has. So we're going to challenge anything that happens at the club now that it's Ange this, it's Ange
Well,
that.
I think it's Conte actually, Lee, who came out last year and said Spencer's a club signing. He's not my sign. They want him. I think that has kind of fueled everyone's thinking. Well, who is a signing of the club? Who's a signing of the manager? I think that's, and then we've linked that to all the kind of past transfers under Redknapp and
I'm sure
Poch and everyone
Mourinho
else.
said something similar as well,
Exactly.
didn't he?
Mourinho said that he wanted
said something similar.
Skriniar and Roden came and all that sort of stuff.
And then
No, I
Ange comes
agree.
in, and he says, every signing's mine. And then you're like,
never managed at this level. Come into a new job. Levy's his boss. At the moment, he's going to say whatever he's going to need to say. Until the time where he breaks
That's where he needs to be.
When
wiser,
he breaks,
right?
he won't hold back. I'll tell you that now. I'll take everything he says with a pinch of salt.
We called Nuno a yes man for that, though, didn't? In fact, hold on, Iggy.
Yeah, but Nuno is he's going to make us proud, wasn't he? And he did.
He made us proud.
Did make us proud.
Iggy, where are you with this? Do you think Ange is a yes man? Do you think he's not a yes man? How do you see it?
Do you know what? This is because nobody ever takes accountability in our club. This is why we get these debates. This is why we get these chats. This is why we get a split, divisive fan base. Listen, I hear both points of the argument, and they're very valid because we don't know just how much Ange is involved in it if we don't allow it to play out. But we also know the history of Tottenham of the last 24 years under this ownership to know how it's going to play out. But we have to let this one play out purely because Ange is the new manager of this team. So we will know we can revisit this conversation at the end of the transfer market, see who we've got in, and then have a more not so much more of a better idea about the club, but we'd have a better idea in what Ange's position is in terms of the yes man. Or listen, I said earlier on, I think Ange was brought in. There was no way we was going to sign another contract where it could potentially blow up in his face again for a second time running. So he had to toe the line a little bit. And this year we've kind of seen signs of that he is that, not completely, I wouldn't say completely like a yes man where he just allows the club to choose all the dealings and the best dealings for him. But there is terms where he's willing to compromise a little bit. Do I feel that there's signs in there that he's going to compromise in one or two signings? Maybe get one or two signs that he actually wants, but for the rest, I think he will kind of say, look, I want this guy and this guy. Look, we couldn't get you these two, but we get you the next best thing. Do I see that happening? Yeah, I think that would happen a lot. That would happen this summer. Of course, we'll have to let it play out and see how it goes to then realize just how much weight Ange has in the club signings. But what my expectations are no different to what we've done any other year under this ownership. That's the truth of it. That's how I feel about it. But of course, I'm willing to let it play out to see if it's the same old again. But the signs again, I go by the, you set the tone normally with the first signing. Normally, is the one that right. This one's
You
in
want
there.
something to set the tone, don't you? Iggy?
Yeah, I wanted that first signing, but especially given the season that we had, where the fans were, as in what kind of season we've had, how we ended the season. We failed top four, although I did say, and I stick by it, returning back to Europe at the back of last season would have been a success. And under Ange's year one, I'm talking about. I would have said it would have been a success just getting back to Rio. So I stand by that. But then you're like, okay, you want to kick on. And you've got to have to beat the competition. You've got teams that are in a better position than you that can attract better players. We finished fifth. So you're like, okay, we've got Europe next year. We didn't have that. So you need to put things in place. Still, even if you're not where you want to be, you still need to put things in place to then go kick on again next season. To announce Timo as a first signing, and then now we're having debates like, where is he going to? What kind of signing? Who are we going to get next? Do we even know what areas are we looking for to improve? I couldn't tell you. And this goes back to the accountabilities, what I started the conversation with. Nobody in this club has ever taken accountability. The director of football or the sporting director says, I deal with the transfer. The coach, you know, he has an input on what kind of players he wishes to get. He gives you the identity of the player that he wishes to have for that position. And then he says, look, I would like Iggy, but do you know what, JP or Lee, it's just as good. If you can get me any of those, so then you see a little pattern there. But there's nothing of that sort, so you don't know, man. You don't know. I just see other clubs, the way they operate, it's a bit more clarity in who's responsible for who. And if that player, did Ancelotti want that player? Or was it like, you don't hear these conversations. You know that those clubs, if their player's gone there, it's because Ancelotti wanted him. If that player went there, it's because Arteta wanted him. Or and you could be saying the same thing about Man City, Liverpool, Arne Slot. What kind of players is he going to attract? Is that a Liverpool signing or is that an Arne Slot signing? You will find that out in the next few weeks. Exactly. And I'm telling you now, even Arne Slot not made a single sign. I guarantee you we're going to have a bit more clarity in what Liverpool will do with their signings and who's made those signings compared to what Tottenham do.
Our issue is 17 managers, 25 years, one trophy.
So this is why I'm saying
if we'd won a couple of FA Cups,
I agree, but this is why I understand what Lee's saying, and I can't agree with it because how can we know like the signings are not being made under Ange, so we can't really truly know. But then I also understand what Maz is saying by saying, what more do you need to see when you've had 23 years of it? I get it, I get that thinking. So I completely and utterly get it, but we can't blame Ange for the last 23 years. This is what I'm saying. The tone at the club is set by the owners. Then when you bring a manager in, it's to reinforce because the manager has exactly the vision of the club and he is in line with that and he's going to deliver what the club wants.
We do this every time. A new manager comes in and because we're all good guys, right? We think, right, let's give this guy a chance, which is the right thing to do and the fair thing to do. Right. However, we've been burnt so many times that it's getting more and more difficult to do. Look, I'm not judging Ange on the last 23 seasons. I'm judging him.
Just one point. Give this man a chance. I'm not giving him a chance. I'm giving the club a chance to change their way they deal with transfers.
Timo stinks of all the problems of the past.
No, listen, we're always going to have one smelly fish in the pack. It's always going to happen. But I'm hoping that he can change. Listen, if he bring his Jimenez in, fills in those two spots, and then we've got a couple of players, younger players, or whatever, and then he brings someone in that says, this is the type of player I'm looking for, never heard of him, but you know what? He's going to work perfectly for what I want him to works out, and he has a good season next season, then I'd say that would be a success for Ange. It's when the clubs start getting involved and saying, oh, actually, do you know what? You're looking for a really forward passing, forward working player, but we've got this player who's in the same position, but all he does is pass the ball back. That's and he accepts that, then yes, he's a yes man. But the whole Timo thing is just, I think it's a red herring at the moment. I'm just waiting till they surface when the window opens to understand yes or no. And I know what you're going to say. I know it's 23 years and I get you, but I can't be that negative. I just have a little bit of hope. But, maybe the light will go out and it will be back. Right? I know, Maz. I know it is, but I've got to have something.
The thing
is, I've got nothing. I might as well give up.
I'm not willing now going forward to just to every time we get a new manager is to erase the past, right, and start afresh, right? However, with Ange, as we've done with all our other managers, I backed him, right, and I don't think he's a bad manager. I don't think he's going to get the backing that any of our managers deserve. But I am judging him on what I saw in that season because that's all I can do, right? Because that's all I can do as a fan is judge him in that season, and that's why I called it early because I saw early on that what you alluded to, Lee, that the club habits didn't change, the same old signings were happening. the same old patterns were happening, right? And I can't accept that. And I can't accept seeing what happened last season under him and all of the nonsense that he spattered out of his mouth being positive for this campaign, resetting it again and saying, okay, Ange, well, you fucked up on what you said last season, so I'm just going to give you grace this season, especially once he's kicked me in the guts and the bollocks with Timo. I can't do it. But, and if that's negative, then fine, but I can't do that.
I've got a couple of super chats. And then I want to ask JP something. Soulboy says, Lee keeps contradicting himself. Soulboy, do me a favor. Next week or the week after, I'm going to start a fan show on a Wednesday, I think. Come on and have your say. Because
so do you know what, Soulboy? I'm literally just losing the will to live with this at the moment. It's so. I want to be. I see what these guys are saying. I really do, but I just don't want it to be true. I really don't, and I can't. I'm like on a seesaw, and I'm in the middle, and it's getting a bit windy, and I'm doing this, and I want a bit of something to look forward to, and there's nothing at the moment. Exactly, there really isn't. The Timo thing is like not the best way to start it off, and I apologise. I'm just trying to, make an argument or have an opinion to get the banter going. But I'm
listen.
Deep down inside, I'm absolutely crying inside.
Lee, there's like you said, there's a very split fan, even with the signing of Timo. There's very split. So I don't honestly believe that whilst people will agree with Maz as well, I think there's a lot of fans out there, maybe some in the chat as well, that are kind of in line. They're saying wait a little bit.
Just be positive. They agree with you, Lee.
so I don't know. Maybe this is what you and Maz have both said. It's a fair reflection of how the fans feel throughout. That's why we're getting such a split. That not just in Timo, but just the way we're viewing everything.
At the same time, we've got another super chat from Rich who says, "Great show, gents." So,
cheers, Rich.
Rich, pick up, man.
3-0 England. Harry Kane's just scored. Come off the bench not that long ago, and
class A doing the best.
If only we had a striker like that.
Funny enough, we did.
I'm still waiting for the Harry Kane replacement. Everyone's forgotten about that.
Timo.
Wait, Son will need replacing very soon. He's 33. I don't even know how old he is.
We've done that already. It's Brennan Johnson. So, guys, listen, we've got 720 people watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X. Thank you. Appreciate you all. God bless. I want to ask you, change the topic. So, Timo's here, right? It's divided the fan base.
No, I don't know who MTT is.
You want to talk about MT Cabernet?
Cabernet, I don't know who he is.
Matt and I got rinsed.
I was watching that and I got it straight away. And I was sitting there going, should I message him? Should I message him? Nah, I'm just going to leave him to it. Got you.
No, when that happened, so I think, look, here is that someone put this up. It was like this. We need to look at empathy Cabernet. So I had no idea. I didn't get it, nor did Matt. So I said, Matt, do you want to take this? Because I didn't know who the player was. So I've gone on Google, and the only thing I could find was Umtiti, and I thought, has this guy spelled it wrong? And Matt thought he was talking about some PSG player. So there we are waffling about a player that, and we get whilst being bantered. Man, the clips going around. I got international WhatsApp abuse. International. But anyway, look. That said, fair play to him. He got us good, man. He got us good. Timo's here. He's here for a season. Richarlison's come out talking about his exit, the links that he might be leaving. And he said, it's fake news. I won't leave England in the summer. I left my holidays to work in Brazil as I want to return at the best possible next level. So it looks like, well, we know Timo's here. It looks like Richie's staying now. JP, where are you at with that? Richie and Timo in the squad.
Where's my season ticket?
This one hasn't divided anyone. I think everyone's like whatever, which is weird because I thought this would be quite a divided one as well. But
Man, I don't know. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, he ain't gonna say anything else, right? If he's got it quite cushy here. He's playing in the Premier League. He's playing for a top six. No, not even a top six. He's playing for a top club. Good stadium, good wages, great facilities. Why is he going to want to leave anywhere else, right? Yes, there's talk about him going to Saudi or whatever. He could get paid some stupid money to go out there. If that offer comes, I'm sure he'll have a look at it. I'm sure even deep down he knows probably the way the season ended for him wasn't great. He had a nice little purple patch at one point, which everything was rosy. Tap-ins, whatever. That tap-ins are goals, right? He ain't gonna come out and say anything else, but I'm sure, and this is where I'm unsure, because if we get a decent bid for him, I would like to think that we would take it.
But he has to agree to it, Jay. He has to agree to it. He has to agree to it.
If there is a decent bid that comes in, if it's from Saudi, the wages will definitely be more. So I think personally, I think he would take it for a couple of years. I don't think that anywhere else, if he goes to any other Premier League club, it's going to be a lower than Spurs. I don't think anyone else will pay his wages. So it's going to be one of those other again that he just sees his contract out here. Unless we can get rid of him to Saudi. I mean, look, his point coming out saying that, he is going to say that, isn't he? He's going to want to put himself in the best place so that he can try and fight for a place. I'm sure even he knows deep down, do you know what? I didn't do it the year before. I didn't do it last year. I'm gonna need to buck my ideas up, because I'm sure he probably feels, and also the way Andrew's been talking, or like maybe he doesn't now because they signed Timo. The way Andrew's been talking is saying we need better up front.
Well,
So I'm
this
sure
is
in
the
the back
thing,
of his
JP.
mind,
This is mentality of the club, right? This club has got to stop being a safe space for players. We need to be ruthless. If we get listen, if
Safe
again,
space. Like that.
yeah, if we get if the rumors are true and a striker is said, if you come for me, I'll come to Tottenham, then we have to sit down with Richie and say to him, look, if we get an offer for you, we are going to seriously consider taking it. And here's the reason why. We're after this player. We want him, and you're not going to be guaranteed first starting position next year. So you can either sit on the bench or you can take and go somewhere else and potentially start Saudi Arabia or a club. We have to be ruthless. This isn't about players anymore. This is about the club doing something. And it's got to be. Yeah, but that conversation's got to be had. He can't be coming out on social media saying, I'm not going anywhere. Well, that's not your decision. It is to a point. But if you do, this is what's going to happen. You are not going to be starting unless we get injuries or something of that nature. Yeah? Simple as
even
that.
If we said, you know what, 10 million from Brentford, we'll take it. He'd quite easily go, and Brentford would go, no, we'll pay you 50 grand a week. He would just say no, right?
Yeah, well, then he sits on the bench and doesn't play football.
Which
that's his choice.
In a way, doesn't help us that much.
Where he's a backup. Backup.
Jesus Christ! Do you know what I saw this picture on the internet. There was some kind of Spurs function going on. Maybe it was a Legends night. I don't know. And there's a picture of Berbatov, Robbie Keane, and there's one other legend, Gareth Bale.
Bale, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, wow, look at that. And then now I'm just closing my eyes. I'm looking at Spurs this year. Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, and Timo. I mean, the drop-off is unbelievable. We desperately need to sign a striker. And
we have a bigger, better stadium. We have more money in football today. We have all of these other riches that are there in football right now. And you look at our strike force now compared to them.
Do you know what's interesting?
Lee, let me read out these names to you, okay? Everyone. Who would you take off this list? You can take as many as you want, right? These are the players we're currently linked to. Job Bellingham.
Yeah, that's his
brother. That's his brother, yeah. Eze, Marcus Edwards, Hudson-Odoi, and Solanke. Oh, and Conor Gallagher. Go with that one. Out of those 6 names, how many you realistically would excite you? I guess we're all going to say yes to Eze, right?
One, right?
Eze. What about Bellingham, Gallagher,
Pers-
Edwards,
personally,
Odoi, Solanke?
me personally, rather than Eze, I would much rather who's that other guy at Palace?
Elise.
I think he's been tapped up for United though, mate. If I'm honest,
A few
Don't
people
think
have
we'll
said
get
that.
a
I
shout
just
in there.
think we need to be really careful about our expectations on Eze, because we've seen what's happened to Basuma and we've seen what's happened to Maddison. I think he's
But
a
you
great
could say
player.
that
I'd love to
about
see
any
him.
player now, Mez, though, couldn't you?
Yeah,
Mbappe comes to Tottenham,
no.
plays shit for a year.
Just anyone that comes to Tottenham League.
Well, exactly, yeah. That's what they've been Spursied.
I'm just telling you what.
I'm coming across. I'm crossing that line.
Does anyone here? Let's go through the names, okay? So everyone's yes to Eze, I'm guessing. Is anyone here against Eze? Are we all we're all for it, right? Okay, Conor Gallagher. Or is that
No.
gonna split
I
the
watched him
family
play in
again?
the England match again tonight. I'm sorry. I'm just not convinced by him that he would make us any better than we already got in those positions. I really don't. I watched him make about 90% backwards passing and 10% forward.
He's a young Højbjerg to me.
But that
Yeah.
English
Exactly
quota
what I
needs
said
to
myself.
be the English quota thing needs to be looked at, or So
Doesn't
maybe
Eze fit in that though?
Promote a couple of academy players just into the squad.
I'm not in disagreement with that.
You could have Mike Moore
I heard what you had to say about the academy players,
and
and
save
none of them already.
$165,000.
I heard what you said about when you went to see the academy, the under 21s. You said none of them already.
None of them already. No.
But
I'd
isn't
have them.
there's
I'd have them over
contradiction come
Timo
out there
Werner,
now,
though.
wouldn't they?
But I'd have one. I'd force one in over Timo Werner, though. I'll tell you now, I would.
You save $165,000 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Okay. What about Job Bellingham?
I don't know him that well. I'll be honest with you.
I think we'd be buying him for the name. I'm not going to lie.
Is this another Gedson Fernandes, the wrong Fernandes move by Spurs that we still haven't learned? Is that what we're doing here? Marcus Edwards, would you have him back? Ex-Spurs academy boy, bit of a attitude problem, had to move on. Got the talent, but never. He hasn't lit up the stage abroad. He's had good moments, but he hasn't lit up the stage. Would you bring him back?
I would maybe say he's maybe a 5 or 10% slightly better than Johnson in the matches that I've watched him play. But I wouldn't put him in the same bucket as like an Eze or someone like that. So
I would say
that'd have to be a cheap deal and see how he gets on. But no, not for any kind of exuberant money.
See, Lee, I would say 5 or 10% better than Brian Hill.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the same mustache capabilities as Brian Hill.
We've got a lot of players we need to get rid of still, haven't we? We've got a lot of players
hell of
to
a
get
lot.
rid of.
There's about 14, I think. I had a chat with Shine the other day. There's about 14 that me and him counted.
The guys in the chat are saying thumbs up to Joe Bellingham for an 18-year-old. He's got some really good stats. So
yeah,
but we've got Spurs now, haven't we?
We're doing it again, aren't we?
Is he at Birmingham as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
What about Hudson Odoi? For me, that one stinks.
No.
That's a stinky signing, that one.
Well, I think that's sort of the position of the pitch is done, isn't it?
Yeah, but we love a backup at Spurs. We love a backup, good backup.
is there a reason what is there about Hudson Odoi that you don't like?
What's he done, Iggy? He wasn't
He's
good enough
not
for Chelsea.
that
He's gone to
brilliant.
Nottingham Forest. They're getting relegated. Did they stay up? I can't remember. They stayed up, didn't they?
That's not just purely down on him getting relegated, though. Come on, man.
No, but what did Hudson Odoi do last season? The two times we played them, I don't think he did anything special against us.
We bought Brendan Johnson off him.
These quality proven players that we're going after, eh?
Relegated players, yeah.
Can I say
good enough, would have kept them up.
Solanke's an interesting one. I'll tell you why. He's ex-Chelsea, but he got 17 goals last year at Bournemouth.
That's his first year though, isn't it? Like out of at least he's been there 4 or 5 years, and all the other years he's got like.
He was at Chelsea, wasn't he?
Liverpool.
He's been at Bournemouth for a good 3 years now.
When he Liverpool before. Joe,
I'll tell you now.
Solanke was
Let
at
me
Liverpool,
have
wasn't
a look now. Let's have a look.
He was at
he? Huh?
Liverpool.
Was he at Chelsea?
I'll have a look.
I
Let's
think
have a
he was
Chelsea,
at
then
Chelsea
let me
first,
know.
then
Chelsea,
Liverpool.
then Liverpool.
Yeah, but I'm
Right,
sure he's
so
been
he
at-
was no. JP's right. He's been at Bournemouth since 2019.
Yeah.
JP's
and this
spot
is
on.
the first year he's actually hit double figures.
Oh, JP, he scored 72 goals there. That's an average of what's that? Let's do it. 72
yeah,
divided
but
by
Bournemouth
5.
were also but didn't they also go down as well?
He scores on average 15 goals a season.
It's not
at
his fault
Bournemouth.
they've gone down. He's got to
No,
look at
but I'm saying he would have played in the Championship and scored 30 goals or something like that, right?
I guess what we should be asking ourselves is: are these the players that are going to help us take the next step and challenge for fourth, third?
These are the
second?
players that will help us stay where we are.
Solanke for me is the kind of player you get in if you're signing a top quality striker as someone to challenge.
Go on, say it, Lee. Go on, say it.
Push
back
him.
up. Go on, just say it.
No,
Back up.
push the striker. You know he can score goals. You know he's got an average amount of goals in every season. He's the one that pushes the striker to keep him at top performance. Because that's what you do. That's what happens with players. The problem is players fall off because there's no challenge. There's no challenge to them. So give someone younger a challenge.
Do you think he could push Richie then, Lee?
No. JP, don't be silly.
Name me three guys.
We signed Bergville. He's going to be in the squad next year. That's another.
He's a midfielder, isn't he?
Name me three players that would excite you. Like you must all have three players in three.
Kvaratskhelia, Elise, and maybe someone like Edison.
Cavara isn't going now that Conte is managing Napoli now.
Or him or Guimaraes from Newcastle.
Some of those players that were on the way out of Napoli are not going to be on the way out now that Conte's taken over. No way.
Now Conte's there, forget it. But
no way Cavara is going to go. And I don't even think. I don't even know.
What about Isak?
Isak?
We're not going to prize him.
Can we get him off Newcastle though?
Well, they've got to sell, don't they?
Yeah, well, but Newcastle aren't in Europe. They're not in Europe next season now because Man United won the FA Cup. They got pushed out of the Conference League competition.
Yeah, but haven't they got a financial thing, haven't they? Like FFP thing that they've got to balance the books.
Yeah.
I heard they're selling Guimaraes to Arsenal, though, which is a top signing for Arsenal if they get him. That's a top signing.
But isn't he got some stupid price tag on him, though, still, for like 200 million or something like that?
They'll spend the money Arsenal. Do you know what concerns me?
No, not him, for Isak.
Us. Yeah, Isak's got a crazy price tag, yeah. We're not
for that kind of price.
It's
no. What about Tony?
My concern at the moment
I'd go and try and get that Tony.
His name keeps coming up in the chat, Tony.
Tony's going
to I would have Tony. I think Tony would have been a brilliant
do you know what
player to introduce when Kane was there.
I've heard from other people that have been chatting about Tony, like his attitude isn't the greatest. But obviously the quality of the players are clearly there to be seen by everybody. But the attitude. But then again, I don't know. I mean,
kind of attitude will give everyone in the dressing room a bit
I don't have an issue with it.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I don't have an issue with a player with attitude as long as he can back it up.
Yeah,
if he's got attitude on the pitch and if he can back it, then I've got no issues with it.
Are any of you concerned that we're not linked with so-called household names? You know, like a player that we can say, yes, we know who you are.
No, I don't expect that.
Isn't this the myth then of Ange? Because
exactly.
Isn't this the myth then? Because if he thinks he's going to do it without those players, aren't we all kidding ourselves?
Do you guys recall, right, when Ange first came in the summer, I said, if he comes in and he's got all this, I would be much happier if we were linked with players I've never heard of in faraway leagues. Then I think, he's putting his knowledge of those foreign leagues to good use. A bit like what he'd done with Celtic. But
we don't know that he isn't yet. Because these are the type of players that just won't be on Facebook.
Absolutely.
It won't be on Twitter because,
Granted. Then,
no, but those names I gave you that we're linked to are all either UK-based players or players we've heard of that aren't very good, except for Eze.
But that's where I agree with you, Lee. If once this transfer window opens and we start signing left field players that we've never heard of, then I think, okay, yeah, fine. I can get, as strange as it sounds, I can almost get on board with that because I'm thinking he's putting his qualities into good use.
There's a catch-22 with that kind of scenario, though, isn't there, Maz? Because the players that we're talking about now, we know, we see, we can scale them and we can judge them based on the leagues that they're playing in, right? Whereas with these unknown signings, yes, they might be great respectively of where they are, but you bring them into the Premier League and they're a completely different player. So I'm right. I'll be quite happy to see people coming if it's going to work out. But do you know an interesting? Adrian will love this if he's in the chat or he's watching. Adrian will love this, right? So someone was talking about Santiago Jimenez earlier, right? And what he's done in the Dutch league, and he had a fantastic start of the season. He dropped off a little bit in the second half of the season, etc., etc. Still, people still rate him, still think he'll be a good fit, but he's only scored 6 more goals all season than Troy Parrott in the same division. So it does make you question whether you should bring.
He scored a hat-trick the other night, didn't he?
Yeah,
Lee.
And use him.
They were 6-3 down, and he scored a hat-trick to make it 6-all.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of player I'd say, well, do you know what? He could be, like an understudy to another forward we buy. Why do we need to, keep Richie and stuff like that and do that kind of stuff? That would be prime for him, especially in the cups and stuff like that, European nights. But apparently we're trying to get rid of him now. But his stats aren't that too much different to someone that we're linked with.
Exactly. And we're also linked to Carl Walker-Peters, just so people know. Dietrich Kane, super chat. It's true. Why not?
No, I know. I read.
Let's get the band back together. Lamella goes on a free this summer as well. Just saying.
I'll have Lamella back any day. Bring him back, seriously. Please.
Are you being honest there, Maz?
Yeah.
Or are you having a joke?
No. Why would
I'd have him back in a heartbeat. I would have him back in a heartbeat. Yeah.
I'm being serious.
That bloke bled for this team.
Serious.
Bled for this.
Right?
This.
Are you two actually being serious? You'd both have Lamella back.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. If we sent Solomon and Gil out and Timo out and we get Lamella,
why would you not listen? Why would you not want the bloke back who Raboned Arsenal from outside the box? I mean, you've got to. He should have a plaque up on the high road, with his legs like that, with an Arsenal player in front of him. That's it. He's a legend, absolute legend. Coco, get him in, son. Love it.
The bar is so low now with Timo that Lamella is a good option.
Hey, listen, bring Bergwijn back as well. He was all right.
He played like 20.
He was better when he left us.
He played like 30 games in 8 years at the club.
That's what I'm saying, Iggy. He's got his own bed in the injury room.
And he still had better stats than
Timo. I get. You know what? I get what you're saying, because he's done. He did the best thing that no other wingers has been able to do in the whole time since he's been gone. So we're so shit going forward that we almost want him back. It's like, nah, man. It's just.
I do not want Lamella back at this club. I don't. Dietrich came with a super chat. Let me read the super chat.
In our joking, Stel, this is my point. This is why I can't get excited, because we've regressed, and we're trying to get back to where
making you miss what you had.
Yeah, right. And all these players we're linked with, I'm not excited about this bloody window. If we're linked with these players, I'm not excited. I'd rather them lie to me.
Do you know?
I wish they would lie.
There's
they
a lot.
There's
a lot of pressure on the next signing. If the next signing isn't a good one, I think there's going to be all sorts of meltdown. Dietrich Kane's a good
one, though. Yeah, go on. Read the
there's 2 super chats quickly. Dietrich Kane says, "Big up everyone and Iggy the waffle maker." Iggy just loves Iggy, doesn't he? If we buy Todibo, Kone, Zubamendi, Tony, Elise, and Chiesa, now we're talking about transfer. Don't disagree at all.
Now Dietrich is waffling, pulling all of those names off. You got about at least
calls me a waffle maker. Look at the names come up with.
6 players more than we're actually going to sign. Jesus.
Manu Kone,
and I'm the waffle maker.
Tony will be good up front. Elise's top kit. It's not happening, is it? No, that's but see, this is kind of what I thought we might be doing,
right?
I thought that's what we would be doing when we built this stadium. I thought this is the kind of business we'd try to do. Another super chat. He says, people don't sleep on Ryan Cherokee if we buy him. I don't know enough. And I don't even know if you're joking or if I'm being, if this is to clip me or something. So probably the real player. I don't know. I'm just going to say, I don't know.
It's good to be honest still.
Do you guys know who Ryan Cherokee is? I've not heard of him. I'm being honest. I don't know. Good player, bad player. Well, look, the window's open now, so we're going to see what happens. There is one player also we've been linked with. This is the last one I'm going to. Is it the first of the month?
No, it's not. It's the middle of June. It opens, I think.
Middle of June.
Unless Alexa was telling me something completely wrong.
I'm probably wrong.
Apparently, asked her what the football kickoff time was tonight. She kept telling me what time the cricket was starting. So could be anything.
I think you're right because my brain's been fried this weekend. So I
don't think it's the 1st of June. Like,
yeah, there'll be more business on
the month. Yeah.
There is one other player we were linked with today. Interesting one, but again, it's just underwhelming. Again, we made contact with a move for Rodrigo Muniz. He plays for Fulham. He scored 9 goals in the Premier League in the last 16. Also contributed 1 assist. Again, guys, it's that Brennan Johnson level type player. Meh. I mean,
Again, I'll say I've got a friend who's a Fulham season ticket holder, right? And he said the year before, even the last 2 years, he's been absolutely crap. And suddenly last year, he started banging goals in, and it was because
it's happening again. It's happening again. Fucking.
So don't want to know personally.
Oh, 100%.
Around scouts from the Stevie Wonder School of Talent ID or something.
I don't think they've paid the full subscription for that database. You know, you can get a trial version for like a month, or you can get the junior version where you only get the top 5 things and you can't click on all the other bits. I
reckon Spurs scouts go on Spurs fan channel YouTube channels and listen to what we say to do their scouting. I reckon we are their research.
These guys have been here for half a year already. They've been here for literally half a year already. Why can't they find people?
I don't know. This is why I stopped watching social media, JP.
In place all the time up till now.
Honestly, Lee, I've not checked the Spurs news at all.
With the banter of social media when it comes to signings, it's like the window hasn't even opened yet. Don't open for 2 weeks, and we've been linked with about 30 different players. Yet every other club in the Premier League, you don't see anything apart from the 1 or 2 here that are realistic. It's just I just can't read it anymore.
Do you know what I think is going to happen this window? Right, I think we will sign Eze or someone like that of that level. Everyone will get gassed. And then the next 4 or 5 signings will be the usual roller coaster. One from left field, like a Van der Ven. We're like, wow, who's this? Turns out to be really good. A couple more kids that we don't see ever. And then 2 players that are either injured or shit. And that'll be the usual mix.
What I'm saying? Why are you just copying? And Lee, why aren't you having a go at him?
Well, we've already got one of those.
I'm not going to lie, I wasn't listening.
I've said this a few times, though. It's going to be that usual 7 or 8 signings. 2 will be good, 2 will be and the rest will be just God knows hit or miss.
Do you know why? Do you know why I wasn't listening? It was because I was reading Lee McQueen's message, and he basically says, "Steelers will be signed big players in the summer. Big investments are coming to our accounts, but that doesn't matter because we're restricted by how much we can.
Some big investments are coming.
How much we can spend versus our profits. So it doesn't matter. You can get £1 billion in your pocket tomorrow, but we can only sign as much as we're allowed to." Pay in terms of what it is.
It was 500 million, though, Lee.
Oh, I'm sure it was 500 million.
FFP, man, Kings.
I'm pretty sure we have to take into account after the 1st of July, whatever the new rules and that are as well. I think we have to be very careful about that.
I know we joke and we kind of try and have a bit of fun with it as well, and we are serious within it too. Of course, we are. Are any of you concerned that if we don't really have a strong window, like a properly good window where we say, all right, we've signed 6 players, 4 of them are, yeah, man. And the other 2, okay, we can tolerate it. That if we don't have a window like that, the next season we're in trouble in terms of Villa will pull away even further. Arsenal City already had, Liverpool will pull away. United look like they might be bouncing back. Chelsea might get their act together. Newcastle, no Europe next season. They're in a strong position. 1 game a week. Suddenly, us challenging for the league ends up looking like a 7th or 6th place finish next season. And we actually regress because the competition are doing the business and we're just mucking around again with these, underwhelming signings. Are any of you concerned about that? Or do you think now?
What was that Jose was saying? What did Jose
Yeah,
say?
Mourinho, yeah, he did say that. But do you?
Challenge for 4th.
Because we are in
I
Europe
can't-
next season,
I
we are playing twice a
can't
week.
see it.
You know,
I can't see it still. It's a big job. It's a big job that we have to do. The revamping of that squad is a massive job, and I totally get that we can't do it in one window. And in the last couple of windows, we have had a good start at it, and some of the players that we have got rid of, we've got rid of your Dyers, Hugo, Mora, they're slowly going out, and we can't really just go, here's 20 players go, 20 players come in. It's going to take a good couple of cycles, right? So logically thinking about it, you can't do it straight away as much as you want to do it and as quickly as you want to do it. You just can't. But the positions and the people that you do, the ones that you get in, you have to choose wisely, and you have to get that quality in there to keep it rolling. And again, to me, going back and signing your Timo Werners and people like that, your Villiers and things, he's not good enough. Get rid of him. Bring Dane Scarlett back. Put him in the squad. Like all of this, it's not really helping. And you could say, do you know what? Maybe that's Ange trying to learn it, or he's trying to understand the players. But we've got to get this rebuild right. And it's a lengthy rebuild. It's not like
that's why the Timo
place.
signing has caused a lot of problems, JP, because that's not a sign that we're getting a rebuild.
Yeah, and
No.
look,
It's such a bad place. This squad.
What Lee said
But he's
earlier,
one of your average.
Yeah, what Lee said
He is.
earlier
He's one of the
would
average,
be absolutely spot on if the players we were signing were of real quality. So let's imagine that we didn't sign Timo and we signed just 3 quality players. I think that would make such a big difference to
It would
the
lift the
to
level,
the
wouldn't
team,
it?
and then you wouldn't need. You could then safely get rid of 3 or 4 or 5 players and just fill in the gaps with some youngsters, because those 3 quality players will uplift the players around them.
Absolutely agree.
That is what I would be excited about. I say excited, but just have that glimmer of hope that I was speaking about in the last show. But that Timo son just completely knocked me out.
It's almost like swipe your legs away or something, isn't it?
Yeah, hope for me for now it's gone. That's why I'm out. That's why I think he's a yes man.
What do you think about this?
Sorry, just one quick question. Well, I was just about to say this is. I've been banging on about this for ages and ages. Absolutely right. But I think a couple of the players, I mean, there's some wild things out there, like Van der Ven wants to, he's going to be tapped up by a bigger club. I can't see that happening within 1 year of him joining a club. But I'm sticking to my guns. Listen out for Romero, because I'm telling you now, I reckon he's going to get tapped up.
Well, he came out the other day, didn't he? Saying I listened to I review.
And I've always said that Real Madrid are after him, and they have been for a while. And I think there's potential if we get the right money for him that Levy would let him go, especially as we got. And I always thought that Dragusin was potentially there as a safety net for that. I wouldn't be surprised if they come in for him. Now they've announced Mbappe.
Well, look, this is what Tommy Castillo says in the super chat. Thank you, Tommy. We should be more concerned about our best players wanting to leave. I think this is being overlooked. What's the panel's thoughts? Can I also add to this, though, before we answer this? I do have Romero came out this week and said, I'll read it out because it's quite small. Ange has a winning mentality and has totally changed the direction of the club. When he arrived, he brought everyone together, and we all have the same mental attitude and approach. We all share the same ambition to be successful and win things at this club, and that is the key. We played an entertaining style, and we're all very happy with the way the manager sets us up and plays. I disagree with that because he argued with players about a particular game this season, and that was
And then he pissed off up front for like a few games. I'm doing it by myself.
Of course, we have ups and downs, true. A lot has happened. Let's not forget we have a young squad with players playing their first season in the league. It's not easy playing in this league. You don't just settle in over 2 or 3 months. It's hard. But it's been a decent first season with this top manager. Some inconsistencies, but overall good. I know we couldn't quite keep the pace up to be battling for the league title, but we need to keep trying, growing, improving in order to travel in the right direction. We must finish well and come back stronger next season. The young players will benefit from this first season of experience and will perform better. Next season is going to be a big one for us. Bear in mind, the week before that, when he was asked about leaving the club, he said, I've had offers, I've looked at them, but I'm focused on Argentina, Copa America. You know, I've had a few offers. So he's a little bit contradictory there, but that was quite good words, big words. In fact, massive words from Ange praising the team and sorry, big words from Romero praising Ange and the team. I mean, what do you guys make of it? Is it PR or did he mean it?
For me personally, I think he's in the moment. He's a very in the moment kind of guy. He is committed to the team. However, moving forwards, he'll never rule out going away from Spurs. He's not a North London boy. He's not you know, the
He has
ties.
no affinity, is he?
Yeah, their ties with
Not
him
love,
and
no.
Spurs are purely a professional one. He's very much committed. He's in the moment. However, if an offer were to come his way, which he deems it a better proposition that Tottenham are currently offer, I don't think he'd bat an eyelid about moving on, providing that all.
It's not him, Miggy, I'm worried about.
Who are you worried about?
Van der Ven, forget
worried
it.
about the club.
Van der Ven.
Us taking the money.
Oh yeah, of course. If the right deal suits all
But there'll be a
parties,
shitstorm though. There'll be a shitstorm.
if the right deal suits all
And Levy will
parties,
care because
it's true. We won't do anything about it. We won't do anything about it.
Exactly.
What would a
What's
shitstorm
gonna
be?
happen?
What, you mean
A
like
few
Kane
murmurs
leaving
here
and
and
us
there.
not getting a replacement?
A few murmurs here and there, a few upsets, blah blah blah, and then the next week would be the stadium will be full up again, and we go on again. And it's the same. It's the same thing with Van der Ven. You know, Van der Ven is. Listen, he is going to bigger and better things. There's no two ways about that. If this is his rate of growth, he will carry on kicking on. And it's up to us to be as ambitious as he perhaps wants to be. But mate, listen, doesn't matter if you got teams like Real Madrid or like anything on that magnitude. No clubs can hold on to those players.
if we had any kind of ambition, we'd sort his contract out now.
Yeah, but he wouldn't
Gets more
tie
money.
he wouldn't tie him to a long deal. He wouldn't tie to a long deal, knowing fully well that there's he can go on. But like I've said many a times, players come to the Premier League from abroad, like it was what happened to Van der Ven and Tottenham. For me, how I would listen, and I mean this, and it pains me to say it to a certain extent, but I see that a lot of these players come to Tottenham and use it as a trampoline to go over to a better club in England, Premier League team, or to then kick on and go and play to one of the elite clubs in Europe. I see Tottenham as that team that puts them out there on a window. We need to start establishing what we are, because I don't see people say a top 6 club. It was mentioned early on. We don't act like a top 6 club. We don't move like a top 6 club. How we can still use that terminology to describe our club, I don't know, man. I don't see us moving like one. So for me, we're kind of like, we're at the bottom of that top 6. We're not quite there with the top 4 or 5 teams, but we're still better than the lower 4, 5, 6 teams. We're kind of in that in-between bracket. We're kind of almost as if we're trying to work out what it is that we still want to be. But yet we're still claim ourselves to be top 6 club.
Well,
How can you claim to be a top 6 club and you don't move like one?
Financially, we are.
Yeah, but look. If we're gonna be here, if we're gonna come on here, or I'm gonna come on here to discuss the club finances and stuff like that, I'll quit YouTube right now and say this is not for me. I don't come here to speak about finances, although I appreciate the value and the importance of the club is
The
run
Goldman
well.
Sachs TV.
I don't come to talk about. I come here to talk about football and the club from a
Barclays
footballing
Hotspur.
aspect of things. If this, whilst I appreciate and respect the importance of running a club properly financially, this is not what I'm here for, man. As a fan, I'm here to look at it from a footballing perspective and how I want to see my club move forward as well. Respecting that side of it, but also not neglect the most important. The engine of any football club is the football team and the fans that come to watch the game. Without that, it's pointless.
I was just
For me,
laughing at.
this is my opinion, guys.
Yeah, I wasn't laughing at you, Iggy. I was just laughing at that Benjamin Foster. He said Tottenham is like a gap year club.
It is, yeah. No, he's absolutely spot on.
Benjamin,
Do you know what? I think
Benjamin,
that's very accurate. By the way, it's very accurate. The problem, the gap year, is every year.
Mate, you know Benjamin. I believe it's the same Benjamin that was on our channel when we first started. He was from Spurs in Germany, the German Spurs Supporters Club. I think it's that Ben.
Benjamin, can you confirm? Is that you, mate? Is that one that Stel is talking about?
Is it you, Ben? I'm sure it is. But if it's that Benjamin, when we signed Timo, he said like people in Germany were stunned that Spurs went for him.
He's stunned that anyone took him.
Yeah. No, I remember.
People in Germany were stunned. People in Chelsea were laughing.
But this
that's
is it.
All the signs you need, really, isn't it?
People at Tottenham were saying good bit of business.
But this is what it's become. You can almost know by the reaction of your opposing fans, and you know, it's too much. But you know, right? You know, when your rival teams are bantering you about a signing of a player, you can't dismiss it unless there's no truth in what they're saying. And the fact is that there is truth to the banter, which is why we're getting bantered. And the reason why it triggers us as a fan base, because we identify that there's truth to what they're bantering us about.
I was saying if any other Premier League club signed Timo Werner, I would have been
tribes living in the Amazon jungle was stunned.
Excellent.
Well done, Bertie. Well done.
That's the best comment of the night.
Well
Maz is not pleased, man. Maz is not pleased.
I mean, the thing is, there's still other things.
I can feel Maz, you've got to roll with the punches, man.
The steam's coming up.
If it all goes tits up by Christmas, if it all comes crashing down, Maz is going to have a whole show to himself. 2 hours.
Yeah, you just know what you do.
I told you so.
I told
you, bitches.
It'll literally be a one-man stream. Still will be running in the background, and it'll be like, Maz, go with it.
He'll be there with one of those old Tommy guns. Listen, we've got a couple of super chats. Just quickly read them out. Cyber People says 6 months this, 1 more year that for the managers and whatnot. How much longer for Enoch and Levy? Listen, we've been saying this for a very long time.
I have to say, they ain't going anywhere.
No, of course not.
Too much
our fan
money.
base won't do anything about it. So, anyway, Della Spurs, big up. I will never understand how our fans pay this money to watch Werner, Johnson, and Richie.
These
There is such a gap between the level, player, and club value.
Every home game.
Do you know what my tactic this year though, Iggy, is?
That one and that one.
I'm selling all my tickets. I'm going to recoup all my money, but I'm going to go to the big games like Arsenal, Liverpool, the big games for the atmosphere. The rest can unless we're on a really bad run, then I'm not going to those games either because then we're going to just get rinsed. I don't want to watch it. But look, change the subject completely because we've only got 15 minutes left because I only want to do 2 hours tonight. Guys, we've got 850 people watching.
Big
Please,
up everyone, man.
thank you from everyone on the show. Big up, smash a like. There's one thing I just do want to finally end the show on, right?
Wait,
So-
have you not talked about the kits, the new kits yet?
That's what I'm about to bring up.
Okay, cool. I'm glad.
Right. This away kit, in my opinion, and it's
I
my
like it.
opinion, is an abomination, right?
I like it.
Right. This is
That's a shit picture. Come on now.
Look,
Right.
JP's
No,
wearing
wait,
it right
wait.
now. Hold on.
look, JP's wearing it. Look, JP.
It looks a bit
well done.
Argentina-ish, doesn't it?
JP is
Oh.
so buying that shirt. I can see
got
it with him. I
There's-
can see
there's-
it.
mate.
Okay, you say
JP,
one minute.
model it, man, because he's not
Hold on.
doing it justice.
Let me show you a few more angles and a different kind of perspective on this.
No,
So
no,
you say it's
only
Argentina-ish.
If it looks
right?
shit on JP, then I'm with you.
So this is kind of a bit more
It
real
does
life.
look a bit Argentina-ish, doesn't it?
Right. Some people say it looks a bit Uncle Albert.
Hey.
Some people say it looks a bit
Mate, that's Grandad. That's not even Uncle Albert.
pajamas.
Come on, man.
Right. A bit.
Get it right.
Sorry, Grandad, beg your pardon, a bit pajamas. Others say it's a prison uniform.
Stop it,
No,
man.
it's bananas in pajamas. Have you seen that? If you Google it,
Yeah.
Guys, does
It's just
anyone actually like this kit?
I
are we-
like it. I like it. I think it's going to look great on the
don't mind it.
players.
I think
I think it's going to look. And the fact that it's just
I
got
think
the
it looked
navy
better in
right.
real life,
For
man,
me,
than
the
this.
biggest selling point, the fact that it's got
you
navy
are the
writing.
biggest. You pick on kits more than anyone I know, right? You're so thick with the design, proper Italian. You're telling me this is nice.
I said I like it. I said I like
oh
it.
my gosh!
I think you'll get a different perspective on it when the
when you
players
see it
wear
in
it.
real life.
I'm telling you,
People in the comments, what do
you're
you think?
going to buy that shirt still. You're going to buy it.
Levy's prisoners.
Yeah, because you compared it with all these like other things that
It's
it's
wrapping
about-
paper.
Listen, don't get me wrong. Nike
Bananas
are
in pajamas.
completely. Nike are lazy, man. Nike are so
I don't.
lazy.
Do you know,
I'm
Iggy?
looking
I'll
at
say
what
this.
Adidas have been doing.
Iggy. I'll say this
force
again,
this
right?
shit down our throats.
I'll say this again. I don't think Nike is shit. I think they've bought the Levy package, which is give big money for sponsorship, get the shit kit. Get less money for sponsorship, get a better kit.
Can they save money on design? At London Bro, big up for the super chat. He says, speechless, best entertainment, no red in Spurs.
For that alone, it's worth the fact that it's got no
Do
red in it.
you know?
Come
Is
on,
that
man.
is that Nike? Is that Jordan kit for real? Because I don't like it if it's got a red Spurs badge.
No,
No, it
Jordan
can't be.
kit.
No,
You know,
the
there's a
Jordan,
white
the
one.
Jordan
There's-
thing's been slashed. They've been dumped, hasn't
there's-
it? Because we
there's
didn't
a
get into
white-
Champions League.
Oh, I saw the white one with all swirls and stuff
Has
like
it
that.
been
on it.
dumped?
I thought
Are we-
that deal was if we get in the Champions League, then the Jordan was going to be sponsored the.
Do you know
black
what that
kit, but I
design
don't
got?
think it's,
so blatantly got
I
nicked.
think that's been
from,
shelved, isn't it?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It got nicked from that one, innit? They tried to go with.
Yeah, but that looks so much better.
Mm.
I'm not saying
You
it
actually
doesn't.
see it in real life. You like it.
I'm just saying that the idea came from
The
that
buy
one.
right loser Levy away.
Wanyama in pajamas.
Listen,
I don't get
I think your perspective on it will change once you see it on the players.
Still, can you just flip between the two images, the real image, and then the mock-up quickly?
That's the mock-up.
But do you know what's off for me more than anything? And people might call me up for this. Why is the cockerel in the middle of the shirt? It just looks out. It looks like some kind of Chinese knockoff where they've put it in the
Looks
wrong
like-
position.
We used
they've
to
used-
have a,
It should be
remember our
left and
old
right.
white
It doesn't look symmetrical.
but
It's
They're
weird.
using the ball of the cockerel to be the eye on the T.
I know, but it just
we
it
used to
looks
have a really
wonky.
old white. Didn't we have a white Lecoq Sportif one that had the Spurs badge in the middle?
Yeah, but that's vintage without the sponsor. That's classic. Glenn Holiday. There's the third kit as well. Here's the third kit, people.
Do you know what I like about that kit? The badge.
The collar. This collar's disgusting, by the way.
What's with the
This
Nike
collar is
tick,
awful.
though?
Why does the Nike look like a hockey
It's that-
stick?
It's the
There's
old
two.
badge.
There's two Nike ticks actually. If you look closely, there's a green tick on top of the white tick, just below it.
I like the fact that it's got the old badge on it.
It looks
got
like the
the old badge.
Liverpool third kit too much to me.
I think this looks like a Christmas tree.
I don't like it at all.
It's it's a real kick in the teeth. Like the one thing.
I think it looks better like that. I really do think it looks.
Why is
better.
the tick up there, Iggy? That's not right.
It could be just the way it's positioned.
Hmm?
We don't know, man. We don't know how accurate these bloody kits are. I think that night tick's too close to the badge, but we'll see when the players wear it, man.
Do you like this one, Iggy? Do you like the green one?
What's the night tick though? Why is the white gone down south?
If you go some of the night clothing,
It's pointing in the direction we're going next season.
We're challenging
But
for
they
up
got it
there.
the wrong way
Iggy.
round.
We're challenging for up there.
So, some of the night clothing does have the tick tilted.
Have you seen? I just sent you a picture of Son wearing the new kit, the home one. Did you?
For the pajamas.
No, the home kit.
Have you?
That one. I mean,
I'll put it up on the screen now.
Obviously, it's montage. It's not like who meant to be. But
Who the hell is spamming
I
us?
think, some were fans of it. Some of them weren't.
1 minute. I've got to remove Twitch because they're doing it on Twitch again. It's the same person on Twitch. I've turned off Twitch.
Just banning.
I don't know how to do it, Lee. Show me after the show and I'll do it.
Okay.
What was the name again? Let me screenshot the name.
Indeed, Gary. I 100% agree with you.
Winning in life. I do honestly believe that the perspective of the kits are often changed when you see it on the players. I do believe that.
What happened? What happened to us having a white home kit, a blue away kit, and a yellow third kit? What just happened to that? You look at Arsenal and Adidas. All their kits is the history of the club. It embodies what they're about. The colours, the designs. They've got Adidas is smashing it with Arsenal. And you look at us. 1 year it's purple,
Adidas
then
had
it's
smashing
brown,
it period
then
at
it's
the moment.
black and orange. Next year it's green, pajamas. I don't get it.
They're just trying to appeal to as many people as possible, as many different styles as possible, just to generate money.
Well, you want different colours. You want lots of people buying all of them, don't you?
What'd you make of this kit? The home one.
Awful.
I don't mind it. I don't
like. It doesn't look like a Spurs kit to me. It looks, if you replace the logo, it would look like another club.
Do you know what the problem is? That red,
that
red,
man. He's got a bloody jacket, like a straight jacket on or something.
Yeah, exactly.
A parachute. He's got parachute.
The logo's the sponsor is so huge, man. It just takes up the middle of the chair. It's a killer.
Pay more money.
How long are we contracted with this AIA, man? How long is it going to go?
Pay more money. Didn't they just extend it last year or something?
Do you remember the first 2 years of Nike when we first got them? How good those kits were. They were so good the first 2 years.
I don't know, man.
When Toby Alderweireld was still at the club.
We're not excited about the signings. We're not excited about the manager. We're not excited about the kits. It's just nothing.
What was his ticket? Yep.
Nothing, man. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. I'm with you, man. It's just huge. It's just huge.
The general feeling in the comments are they don't like the kits. But you know what? Come match day, everyone's going to buy it. Every year I see people just buying it and wearing it.
Listen, I do. I'm not saying everyone will change their mind. I do believe that a lot of people will change their mind when they see it. We'll see it in pre-season, innit? They'll be wearing it then. So
I'd quite like to get a green one.
What, the Tesco bottle kit?
Home is a beauty and wear kit terrible.
The good thing is, man, the football is a European tournament starting next week. A European tournament starting next week, man. The Euros are on, and before you know it, the new season will be on its way as well. So plenty of football coming our way, man. So
what do you think, like when they do designs like this, they're thinking what looks good with a pair of jeans?
There's an element to that.
No, because I won't wear it with a pair of jeans. I wear it to bed.
I like the blue one, man. I like it.
I can't.
like it.
I'm actually
There's
shocked you like it, Iggy. I'm
There's
actually
something about
surprised.
there's something about it I like. It's got a retro feel to it. I like
I
it.
think I quite like that Argentinian.
I think the
look to it.
badge would have been better on the
On the
left hand
right,
side when
on the left,
where normally
yeah.
is. But apart from that, listen, I think that's I don't know where you got these photos from. Even the neck, that I can't believe that V goes like that. I don't know.
It is. Look, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It feels
like
like there's an overlap or something like on the right hand side. But look, let's just the fact that I don't get to see that red writing in the middle of the chest is for me is
That's one of the best things, isn't it?
100%. And I don't understand if we can do it on the away kits, why we can't do it on the home kits is beyond me. Because surely red AIA should be also on the away kits, right? In red. So
Maybe it's an agreement that they got to put red on one of the kits, so just to piss us off, they put it on the
Yeah, but
home
we only
kit.
sell our soul for the home kit.
this is what I
All
mean.
3 kits are gross.
Wow.
Nike taking the piss out of us. Well, look, there you go. There you go. We're going to wrap it up, everyone. It's been another emotional one. What can we say? The season's ended, but Spurs give us plenty to talk about, and no doubt by next week we'll be talking about the signing of Conor Gallagher and Hudson-Odoi. I hope not. Final words, everyone, and we'll call it a night. Iggy.
Good night, God bless, and as always, come on you Spurs. Enjoy the Euros. We're getting on to the week of the Euros, so I'm actually looking forward to it. Very looking forward to it. I mean, mostly for the fact that Italy are in it for this time, so yeah, good. We're in a competition.
Aren't you the defending holders?
Of course.
Defending holders, yeah.
Yeah,
JP.
World Cup,
Yeah, all right. Defending holders.
Oh, it's coming home. It's coming home. So I keep hearing every time.
You bringing it home, are you?
Come on, Daniela. Are we bringing it home? Has anyone ever brought it home twice in a row? Euros. Spain?
I don't think so.
I want to say Spain.
Spain,
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to do it twice.
France? Did France do it?
I don't know if they did it twice, man. Guys in the chat, does anyone know if the Euros have been won back to back by anyone?
I'm pretty sure Spain have done
I think Spain did it.
They did Euros
08 and 12.
Euros.
Yeah, 08 and 12, I think they did it. I can't remember if France did, but I'm pretty sure Spain did. 08 and 12.
Because I'm pretty sure they also had the World Cup in the middle.
In between, they won that as well. So,
yeah. You know, I love fans like this. Not happy because we don't like the kit. Okay, we like the design. Right, we'll force ourselves to like the kit design.
2 rain clouds, man. Both years.
I've been consistent. I haven't liked our night kits. Other than the first 2 years, I think most of our kits have sucked. The only one I liked after that was the green kit we wore in the Champions League the season we got to the final. The rest I didn't like. It's not my style. It's not my design. I don't.
That was a great shirt. Great shirt.
Lucas Moura kit.
I love the detail of that green shirt. Like, it
was meant to be
there is Tottenham, one. There is one I do like.
It was meant to be Tottenham, wasn't it? Like a map of Tottenham or something.
Yeah, it was great. No, it was. That was probably one of the last home away kits that was top.
This is the only other one I liked. This one.
See, that looks like a zebra.
This one I liked because you know what? When you wear it on the beach on holiday, actually it goes well with the turquoise water.
So see, it is a fashion statement. So,
yeah, that was fashion. That was pure fashion. That one.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
it works. It works.
Turquoise water.
Yeah, but you know what though? The logo, the badge, everything was in white. I like the fact everything was in white.
Yeah, I don't mind that one.
I don't see much of the turquoise sea down in Southend.
Mate, I don't go holiday in Southend, JP. I'll tell you that for free.
I went holidays in the Southend.
I'm more of a Blackpool man myself.
Good lad. Listen, after last year's my trip there, I ain't never going back to that place.
You went to Blackpool?
Huh?
You went to Blackpool?
Yeah. We drove up to Scotland.
Was it a bit UKIP? Was it a little bit UKIP?
We drove up to Scotland, up that west coast.
Yeah.
So we just stayed in that. It was either like kind of every night we just stopped over somewhere. Just like had a nice long.
The only choice was Blackpool. Jesus.
Well, no, I'd never been there, and Debbie hadn't been there, so we thought, go and check it out. Not a game, mate.
Maz, final words.
I want to repeat what Eugene said. You know, we've got our Tottenham back, but I don't want this Tottenham back.
We want a new Tottenham, a different Tottenham.
I want a new Tottenham. That's right. So big up Eugene. That's what I'm thinking.
Big up. Lee, final words.
I'm not going to final word on Spurs. I'm done for the time being. All I'm going to say is
earlier. What's the matter?
He's all
ground me down,
spunky in the
JP.
beginning, wasn't he?
Ground me down, yeah. As I've just had my dinner, so all I'm going to finish with, I will be more disappointed this summer if England do not challenge for that. This has got to be the best time with the squad we've got to win that competition. I think the only thing that could go wrong is if Maguire starts every game. That worries the shit out of me.
I was going to ask you a quick question then, Lee.
You got the squad.
Midfield is good, right? What about the defence is the only worry, isn't it?
I think we've got options in defence, but I think his stubbornness to start with Maguire, given the lack of game time and some of the mistakes that he's made, I'm sure there's better central defenders that can start in that position. And I don't know.
The manager isn't the one.
But based on his Bayern stats, you could put him in there straight away. But no, I think there's other players.
How Maguire gets in and Tomori doesn't is beyond me.
Yeah, exactly, Iggy. I don't get it. He literally must be
get ahead of Maguire.
He must be relationships with Southgate.
Listen, I said it in the last Euros, and I said it last Euros, and I'll say it again. You got a great squad of players. You got a real. It's the best generational, squad assembled together. I just don't think that the manager will get you over the line when it matters. I'm not talking about group stages or the second round or whatever. When it gets to the business end in the quarter semis, that level, then the manager's hand massively makes the difference. And I don't think he'll come through for you in those matches. My opinion.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Guys, we had over 800 people watching tonight. Thank you. God bless each and every single one of you. We might have a show during the week. Matt and I will be live again on Friday. I've actually got a show with Stefan on the Pitch channel tomorrow, if you want to join us. Just going to be talking about all sorts of things, not just Tottenham. But you know what? Because people claim we're negative. They say
we're
toxic and all these wonderful things. I'm going to leave everyone. I've got a super chat right at the end. Right at the end. Let's quickly read it.
Right.
Rob Frank, big up. He says, big up to all of you and everyone in the chat. Smash like, subscribe, 20K
big up,
soon.
Rob.
Big up, Rob.
Big up, man.
Legend. I'm going to leave you on a positive, everyone. So I'm not going to have any final words. I'm just going to leave you with this. Have a great week. See you soon.